Students, very good morning. Today we'll be dealing with the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 and important definitions therein. The very first important definition which we need to discuss is the custom and usages. The expression custom and usages signifies any rule which having been continuously and uniformly observed for a long time. ऐसा कोई भी रूल जो कि कंटिन्यूसली एंड यूनिफॉर्मली फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम अगर हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं देन इन दैट केस इट बिकम्स कस्टम एंड यूसेज. ये जो रूल है ये ऑब्टेन कर लेता है फोर्स ऑफ लॉ अमंग हिंदूज इन एनी लोकल एरिया, इन एनी ट्राइब, कम्युनिटी और अ ग्रुप और अ फैमिली. This rule has to be certain and not unreasonable. That is to say, it should not be opposed to public policy, and if a rule is applicable to a family, then it has not been discontinued by the family. अगर कोई रूल पर्टिकुलर फैमिली को अप्लाई होता है देन इन दैट केस वो रूल उस फैमिली के द्वारा डिसकंटिन्यूड नहीं होना चाहिए. इफ दिस इज द सिनेरियो देन इन दैट केस वी कॉल द सेम रूल टू बी अ कस्टम एंड यूसेज. Now let us see what do we mean by the term full blood and half blood. Two persons are said to be related to each other by full blood when they are descendant from a common ancestor by the same wife. कहने का मतलब है एक हस्बैंड है, एक वाइफ है और उनके दो बच्चे हैं. हस्बैंड से ही देखा जाए तो एंड सेम वाइफ से ही देखा जाए तो ये दोनों बच्चे आए हैं. देन इन दैट केस ये दोनों भी पर्सन्स आपस में फुल ब्लड कहलाए जाएंगे. Now let us see what do we mean by the term half blood. Half blood मतलब क्या होता है? हाफ ब्लड का मतलब होता है when descendant जो है वो कॉमन है, हस्बैंड जो है वो कॉमन है बट डिफरेंट वाइफ्स हैं. देन इन दैट केस ये जो बच्चे रहेंगे आपस में कैसे कहलाए जाएंगे? दे वुड बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी रिलेटेड बाय हाफ ब्लड. नाउ व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय द टर्म यूटराइन ब्लड? यूटराइन ब्लड का मतलब क्या होता है? Two persons are said to be related to each other by uterine blood when they are descendant from a common ancestress but by different husband. Husband जो है वो दो है, wife जो है वो एक ही है. ऐसे में जो बच्चे आएंगे उसे हम child by uterine blood बोलेंगे या फिर two persons are said to be related to each other by uterine blood we would call the same to be. Now next is if we take into consideration Sapinda relationship. Now what do we mean by the term Sapinda relationship? With reference to any person extend as far as the third generation in the line of ascent through mother. अगर हम सपिंडा रिलेशनशिप किसी पर्सन की बात कर रहे हैं देन इन दैट केस थर्ड जनरेशन जिसमें इंक्लूसिव होगा इन द लाइन ऑफ एसेंट थ्रू मदर एंड द फिफ्थ इंक्लूसिव इन द लाइन ऑफ द एसेंट थ्रू फादर. तो जो भी लाइन हम ट्रेस अपवर्ड करेंगे इन ईच केस फ्रॉम अ पर्सन कंसर्न who is to be counted as first generation would be called to be under Sapinda relationship. Two persons are said to be Sapinda of each other if one is a lineal ascendant of the other within the limits of Sapinda relationship or if they have a common lineal ascendant who is within the limits Sapinda relationship with reference to each of them. Now let us student understand this particular statement. Here you can see upward that there is a common ancestor. This common ancestor may there are fourth generation, third generation and second generation. Third generation, fourth generation son, third generation son and second generation son. And if we take into consideration common ancestor है, उनको second generation daughter है, second generation daughter है. Daughter के दो बच्चे हैं, एक son है और एक daughter है. देन इन दैट केस यहाँ पे सेकेंड जनरेशन सन जो है उसको दो बच्चे हैं सन एंड डॉटर. देन इन दैट एंड नीचे जो है वो फादर एंड मदर दिए हुए हैं. तो इस तरीके से देखा जाए तो सपिंडा रिलेशनशिप होता है. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज डिक्रीज ऑफ अ प्रोहिबिटेड रिलेशनशिप. Two persons are said to be within the degree of prohibited relationship if one is the lineal ascendant of the other. अगर एक जो है वो lineal ascendant है other का या फिर one was the wife or the husband of the lineal ascendant or descendant of the other या फिर एक जो है वो wife है या husband है of the lineal ascendant or descendant of the other. if one was the wife of the brother or of the father or the mother's brother or of grandfather or grandfather's brother of that the other, or if the two are brother and sister, uncle and niece, aunt and nephew, or children of brothers and sisters, or of two brothers or of two sisters, all these would be considered to be the people who are under the degree of prohibited relationship. If they get into a marriage, then in that case, if the custom do not provide so, their marriage would be considered to be a bad one. Now next is, in the degree of prohibited relationship, the following relationship is included: the relationship by half or uterine blood and the full blood, legitimate as well as illegitimate relationship, the relationship by adoption as well as a blood relationship. Now, degrees of prohibited relationship. Here, the degrees of prohibited relationship we have already studied. Now, in the degree of prohibited relationship, all these relationships are also included. Now, this was all about the important definitions which we need to keep it in mind while dealing with the further provisions of the Hindu law. Thank you, students. Thank you. I hope you understood the concept. Thank you.